The Nation magazine and called the end of the internet.
Telephone and cable companies are pushing to fundamentally change the way the internet works, charging fees for use and giving preferred treatment to content providers with deeper pockets.
What they want to do desperately is be in a situation where they can rank order websites, and websites that come through the fastest to us, to the users of the internet, are the ones that pay them money or the ones they own. And websites that don't pay them come through slower, much harder to get, or in some cases they'll have the power to take them off the internet altogether.
What I call access tiering, when only the big media companies will be able to afford that access.
It will banish the hundreds of thousands of bloggers to the slow lane on the internet. Anyone without the money to buy access to the fast lane will be relegated into the slow lane and will eventually, lose an audience, lose influence, lose the wonderful innovation of online communication.
Think about your cable system. The cable operator decides which program gets to be in that system. They decide, not the consumer. That's what the telephone companies want to do.
Effectively turn the net into something that more closely resembles today's cable TV systems.
To restrict consumers' access to broadband internet content, such as movies and music.
Now, that just fundamentally changes the internet.
Want to have mainstream quality? Here's what you have to pay. If you can't afford it, well, you're just going to have to go on the old dirt road.
If I were in their position, if I were in a strong market position to be a gatekeeper to the internet, why wouldn't you start wanting to degrade and block content and or at least threaten to do so and extract more revenue? It makes perfect sense. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm just saying it's bad for the economy.
America Online has blocked delivery to its customers of all emails that include a link to a website called DearAOL.com, which is critical of its certified email system.
We've already seen several small network operators block our service. Most recently, major phone company executives have suggested that our service isn't going to work as well if we don't pay them.
What did AT&T have to do with inventing the internet? Nothing. They turned down the contract to build it. What did Verizon have to do with the invention of the World Wide Web? Nothing. What did Bell South have to do with the invention of the web browser? Nothing. These companies literally had nothing to do with creating what makes the internet so special.
Phone and cable lobbies are spending literally tens of millions of dollars trying to buy and likely have bought Washington, D.C. They went to the Bush FCC, and they eliminated the prohibition against non-discrimination. Whoa. We need to put some of that non-discrimination back into the statutes that govern the internet, and it's being called network neutrality.
The concept of net neutrality. I'm not even sure what that means.
Net neutrality is about choice. Who chooses the content you see and use on the internet? Right now, you do. You connect to the internet, open your browser, and navigate to the website of your choice. Net neutrality makes this possible because it prevents your internet provider from blocking access to those websites. Without net neutrality, your network provider, the company that operates your physical connections to the internet, might decide to degrade your access to a website like Google or block access entirely.
I'm not even sure what that means.
It simply means that the people that bring you the internet aren't allowed to discriminate against competing and alternative content.
It's the concept that everyone, everywhere, should have free, universal, and non-discriminatory access to all the internet.
The critical choice is whether consumers should get to decide how their bandwidth is used, or whether the gatekeepers, the duopolists, are going to decide how that bandwidth is used.
If there's ever a moment for a ruckus to be raised and for the public to become seriously involved, now is the moment. We have to bring in as many people into the biggest possible movement that we can muster to register with policymakers and with the mainstream media that this issue of network neutrality is of central importance to us, and that citizens and consumers will not stand for an internet that's turned into the private property of the telephone companies and the cable companies.
Really have to speak out now, because decisions made today will affect the future of television and the internet, our entire digital landscape.